There we are. Good morning, everybody. We are live on our holiday edition of the Prop Stars. Got on the ugly sweater. Cowboy season was very ugly. We got all kinds of things to break down. I'm back in town. Obviously, we have playoff matchups abound. We missed the Tuesday show. There's injuries, huge games, division implications that are going on this week. TJ, how you doing? How you feeling? You looking good over there, bro?
Yeah, I feel great. We're having a rare occurrence here. We get to see you with some facial hair. I think it's gonna be removed in what, 3 or 4 hours from now?
Yeah, it'll be gone, man. Back to clean shaven.
Means you're on vacation mode, right?
Yep,
about to get off it. No, I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about the Tua benching. I always think it's funny how all these people now are like, should Tua be blamed, or are they making the right decision? And you almost want to shake people, because are you watching the product on the field? Tyson. It doesn't look right when Tua throws the ball. It doesn't look right. I mean, from like the release to when he rolls out, it looks like he's so slow. He's so much slower. His arm strength is so far behind. His mind is obviously somewhat advanced, right? Because he's been able to succeed at such a high level,
right,
with such minimal talent.
Right.
But it's like, to watch this guy. What's up, business time? What's up, Tyson? It's just crazy to watch not Tyson. It's crazy to watch Tua. Well, Tyson could probably throw a post corner further than Tua. It's crazy to watch Tua throw a 25-yard post corner to Waddle, and he's got to give it everything he's got, and it's still underthrown. Sooner or later, you have to ignore every stat imaginable and just watch the product on the field. And Tua is not an NFL starting quarterback. And I think he's barely a backup. They built this offense around him. But like, you watch against the Steelers, there was one play where they literally run a quick slant, and the defensive end was just like this and like dropped a wide open pick. And you're just like, the only reason why the defensive end is able to do that is because Tua can't even put enough mustard on the ball to like. It's just crazy to watch. And I think people you got to get away from like his win-loss record. Yeah, he's got a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, like for his career. I think it's like 120 and 60, almost exactly. But the guy cannot throw a football. And he got paid. So but look what the Broncos did, right? The Broncos cut dead money and they moved on. Yeah, they kind of hit somewhat of a home run with Bo Nix. But what do you think about Tua?
I mean, I think it's really tough whenever you see Tua, because here's the hardest part about the NFL is there are exemplary human beings that are leaders of men that go out into this position, and Tua is probably going to make a fantastic coach. He, like you said, he's very cerebral. He could see the game. He just doesn't have the physical tools to complement what's going on upstairs. I think that it's really tough to sit there and, obviously Mike McDaniel's probably crying behind sunglasses like T.O. saying that's my quarterback. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things, like, you hate to see those relationships and those bonds that you grow forward with that have to be severed. But it is a business, and this is a franchise, and you need somebody who can literally throw a ball more than 45 yards and that can keep up, because we're in the fucking playoffs, dude. Right now, as a Dolphins fan, it's got to be a nightmare. Number one, if you're an A-Chain owner, or if you're a Waddle owner and you're in the semis right now and you're like, what is this even going to look like for your first round pick for A-Chain, your receiver, and Waddle, who's been productive? You got Waller, who's kind of now lackluster. You're not sure what's going to come out of him. It's got to be the worst timing ever. And it's not just what they did to him. And we can all agree he can't throw a football, but they just demoted him to like emergency third string quarterback too, right? Like, they just said, you're emergency third string. You're not even really dressing out. It's going to be the other two guys. And you get it. It's just, It sucks. It's an ego check thing. Obviously, he's bigger than that. You don't hear him bitching or complaining. It's the news around the NFL, and I think that he's just cooked, man. He's going to be a backup, and I think he'll end up working his way into, probably a couple other good situations where he maybe has a resurgent game here or there, but he'll probably
Yeah.
just end up coaching.
Yeah, and he comes off the bench or something. Yeah. And I think
he's still
now
going to be a guy that you don't mind if you have a bunch of weapons and a good offensive line. He can do a bunch of short stuff, right? You know what I mean? But it's just nothing that's going to be deep or anything that's going to be able to push the tempo in a game. You're not going to feel confident about him if you're coming in behind. He's more of a guy who seems to be able to maintain or front run, like catching up.
Yeah.
You're not getting that kind of productivity.
Yeah, I think that the Dolphins, that's pretty much a 1% chance that Quinn Ewers might be the guy, right? So they just want to try to see what they have. I mean, he was projected a first round pick 2 years ago.
Sure.
And then he had the season last year in Texas. It was last year. And it wasn't great. So I think he either was really late drafted or undrafted, whatever. But now that they're hoping maybe he could be the guy, I think McDaniels has kind of had a lot of forward momentum, and a lot of people are looking at it like, man, if you did this with Tua, what could you do with a quarterback with just average arm strength, right? And average accuracy, because Tua is not accurate anymore for whatever reason. He does not have the arm strength. He does not have any mobility. Like, have you ever seen him? What's up, Rob? Have you ever seen him? Like, when he rolls out, it's like, it's watching him run. It's not like a quick little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just slow and sluggish.
And then every time he gets hit, you're just like, you're cringing, like
you're cringing, and also like he's cringing. So like he knows he has a clock in his head, and he has to just be so perfect like Drew Brees was, and he's just not, But anyways, I think we can move on. I just think that the Dolphins will have an early enough pick where they can go get a quarterback in the first round. And I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but there are a few quarterbacks that are coming out, and there's a lot of people in the first round that will not be drafting a quarterback. So, I think there's a chance that a guy like Mendoza or somebody could slip to the Dolphins. Maybe they got to move up a little bit, but you got to go kind of take your chance and go try to find a quarterback that can deliver the ball to all parts of the field and kind of get them on that rookie contract while you still have a Waddle, an Achane, and maybe you will have Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? If Tyreek Hill comes back,
they should definitely look into drafting instead of going and signing a veteran per Jameis Winston.
Yeah. I mean, Winston would be great, but I would be surprised if the Giants get. But yeah, there might be a bidding war on Winston now, right? Because who knows?
I mean, I think it's definitely something to talk about. I know the Tua thing is just tough, but it's fantasy playoffs. What do you make of the A-Chain situation? Like, obviously, he's the biggest name on that roster.
When you watch,
I have him in one league, and you just fire him up. You're not questioning it, but do you see any change in his potential output?
Yeah, I think Achane. I mean, you watch the Dolphins game. Achane gets the ball every play. The whole offense is surrounded by him. Right now, with Tua leaving, that hurts Achane a little bit. It has to hurt him a little bit.
Right?
Achane's a top 5 running back this year. How can you get better than that, right? But you never know for 1 or 2 games. So yeah, if you're an Achane owner, you're not loving the idea of Tua being benched, but Achane's a beast, and they revolve the whole offense around him. He's fast. He's strong. He's just a great player, great teammate. Yeah, Tyson says bring Anthony Richardson back that would be kind of interesting because McDaniels, could handle a running quarterback, right, with other offenses he's ran. And, you put Richardson in like a quick read offense. Hey, snap read. If it's not there, run. He can stretch the ball down the field. That'd be kind of fun to watch. We talked about it in the pre-show, but let's get – go.
No, I was just going to say, you see Rob's question, who do you think the Steelers QB is next season? I mean, the Steelers don't have any sort of methodology when it comes to this. They don't mind signing a veteran quarterback. I feel like it's the best value. We'll see what your buddy, Mr. Collin, wants to do.
I think Rodgers will come back for one more year now.
You think one more year?
As long as it doesn't end in a complete disaster, like let's say they sneak one playoff win, which is very possible because no Mahomes, maybe no Lamar Jackson, and no Burrow in the playoffs, right? So there's nobody that Rodgers is seeing on the other side of the ball besides Josh Allen that really scares him, right? If it's not a disaster, I can see Rodgers coming back for one more year. And, he's gave the Steelers a very nice discount and comes back another year with Metcalf, another year with Gainwell and Warren. We talked about on the pre-show, though. Let's jump into the Chicago Bears threatening to leave. Rumors that Rodgers would go to KC while I don't think that Mahomes will be back for week one. I think that
they're already saying they just announced yesterday. Mahomes back for week one. I'm like, what did this guy's knee?
The surgery was clean.
He's got robot legs, dude. He's ready.
Yeah, Parsons' surgery wasn't as clean, unfortunately.
Right,
a lot more damage.
Parsons' surgery was rough.
But Mahomes' surgery was nice and clean. I think Rodgers will be back in Pittsburgh, but definitely not in Kansas City. Let's talk about the Bears threatening to leave Chicago. They want tax money. Chicago doesn't want to give it to them. We all know this is a bluff. But I think it's important to talk about. Gene, our producer, the man that runs the network, God gave us our opportunity to talk sports, says, I don't think they should get rid of Soldier Field. And I argued that almost every stadium now has to be indoors from this point forward. Like you have to build a new stadium if you're outdoors, because if you're in a cold weather stadium, because it's so hard. People don't want to go to football games anymore. They don't want to sit out in 10-degree weather. They'd rather be on the confines of their own couch with their 2 or 3 TV setup, watching all the games. How do you get fans in seats 10 to 15 years from now? You have to do it by having a nice indoor stadium. Take the weather out of it. And they're never going to move out of Chicago, but every team now has to build a stadium in the middle of like a downtown area where there's like a lot of like party life around it, and it has to be indoors, right? We all agree on that. Do you agree, Buff?
I completely agree. And it's crazy because Tyson's over here saying in the middle of this playoff run right now, like, this is the shit that's coming out of Chicago. What are we doing in Chicago? This is unbelievable. You're finally relevant. You're out there making noise, banging on your chest. And they're like, get rid of the fucking team and move them to Indianapolis. What? Like, there's already a team over there. This is what Gene said anyways. All right, so here's the other side of the coin. Yes, you're right. Entertainment value. Hell, if you look at all the movies that they even put out in Hollywood, it's always about some big, beautiful stadium on waterfront property. And they want everything to be as gorgeous and beautiful, and it's a whole entertainment complex. But you take away the nature of the game. This is the time of year that you see the snow blanketing players in fields. It's a whiteout on the screen. This is where boys become men, where contenders become pretenders. This is where the playoff teams that are built for the winner, for the running game, for the defense this time of year succeed. I feel it's almost maybe a purist mentality is what I said, but this is something that you should take advantage of your weather conditions, being a northern team from the Midwest, whatever. I say that Minnesota and Detroit are missing the mark with building their stadiums. I'm sure their franchises are flourishing, but when it comes to taking advantage of your weather and of the elements, I feel that teams miss it, man. And I think that you should be a cold weather team that's going to go out there and practice in snow and below weather. And like, you're right. There has to be something to meet in the middle, to meet your fans and to make the experience comforting or more comfortable, whatever it is. Maybe it's more amenities outside of the stadium, warmers, whatever you want to do, that are just outside and not in the open. But you have to be able to, I think, to take advantage of who you're supposed to be. Like Foxborough coming back this year in New England playoff football, it's going to be crazy cool. Orchard Park, watching them every year for these last few years with Josh Allen is one of the more exciting games to watch. You know what I mean?
But like the Chicago Future Stadium has a roof on it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
right. They're going to be able to dome it, right? Is what you're saying. Right. It's kind of like what they did in Vegas or in LA or whatever. It's like is it retractable? Is it going to be one of the like optional kind of things? Probably.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like
this is just my take. Obviously, I don't give a shit what Chicago does and the Bears. I feel like as soon as Virginia McCaskey dies, then they're like trying to pull a whole nother page. She was probably like, let it stay in Chicago, lived 100 and something years, knew what was good for the franchise. And now they're like, she's dead. Get it over with. Let's move.
Yeah, so Tyson says they're doing it for a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's not retractable. That's what it looks like too. Yeah. So Tyson says, yeah, they're doing it because they want a Super Bowl too. Yeah, that makes sense. And like, yeah, for example, people are talking about Lambeau. Will they get rid of Lambeau? Will they get rid of Foxborough, like you said? No, I don't. I don't know if every team is going to do it, but the future is. I said 20 to 30 years from now, almost every team will have a retractable or a dome stadium. And that's just my opinion.
Well,
I didn't really even think about the
that,
Super Bowl aspect.
Every team will actually have the opportunity to put their name in the hat when it does come for a Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
Because it's always the small rotation that they have. And then every time they open up a new stadium, Houston's got it, Vegas, LA, right? These teams have been able to sit there and open up and host. And that'll happen more now in the Midwest and the Northeast, because those were impossible venues coming January, February, Super Bowl time because of the weather. So now it'll be a little bit more for the town and whatnot. I get it.
Yeah.
I just think that as a football, purist or somebody who really appreciates
No,
it,
I love watching the cold
snow
weather
games and outdoor football is what fucking football's all about, dude.
So yeah, Tyson says Bills are building a new stadium, no dome. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't say every, but I think that 80% of the teams that build a stadium from this point forward will be in domes. But I love watching it in cold weather. But I also, I kind of like, and I would love going to a cold weather game. I just think that the new age kid in person isn't willing to sacrifice 8 to 10 hours
These
to go to a
Gen
football
Zers
game.
aren't even willing to sit there and put in work, let alone to go and sit there.
Yeah, they want 30-hour work weeks and,
portray
they call
patience
out
and
sick
go
once
stand.
a month.
He says 8 to 10 hours for a regular football game in Florida. Imagine the elements and how that slows it down. You're talking a 10-hour experience.
Yeah, I just think that I know my mentality nowadays going to a football game, it's almost like a hassle instead of a joy.
Johnny T, your cousin, says the Super Bowl MetLife in 2013 was a success.
Yeah, I know. You could have it in a cold weather stadium, right? But it's just not. People want neutral. They don't want weather to decide a Super Bowl, right? And weather could really decide. But let's go. It is kind of funny though, going back to Chicago, right? Like the best season they've had in such a long time. Imagine if you're like a 65-year-old, like, you live in the city in Chicago, like Mr. Lombardo or something, right? He's a little older, and like, has just been a Bears fan his whole life. And then you wake up. First of all, you got a good win versus the Browns, very convincing. Where a lot of Bears fans, I know Tyson was a little nervous about this game,
right?
Thinking they might not win it convincingly.
Trap game feel,
blah, blah, blah. So you win a great game. The Bears are trending up, and you wake up, you sip your cup of coffee in the morning, you open the paper because people still read the newspaper in Chicago, and you're like, wait, what? Chicago? The Bears might be leaving Chicago? Like, wait a minute, we just got our coach. We just got our quarterback a year or two ago. Like, everything is trending upwards. We have a great receiver. We have great receiver. We got weapons everywhere.
The running backs are unbelievable.
Yeah, the running backs are unbelievable. Nope. Hey guys, we're leaving Chicago.
Hey,
that's just a life.
By the way,
that's
we're going
to
take this show and pack it up and leave town. What the fuck is that? Anyway, sorry, we got a Thursday night game, huge game. It's going to be the Rams at the Seahawks. I have a decision to make if I'm going to be starting the Rams defense tonight at Seattle. Probably not. This is one of those games. I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold in this situation, but I do trust Seattle's defense. I do trust the 12. It's cold. This is, it's not I don't think this is a shootout type game at all. The line's at 42.5. That's telling you everything you need to know with one of the more explosive offenses, both explosive offenses in the league. And they still have
44. Yeah. Gene has it at 44.5. But yeah, that's even 42.5 and 44.5 is pretty low.
Yeah, it smells like you could beat that line on 42.5. If you get it at 44, obviously you're not as happy about that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I like the Rams. This is my pick in this. This is my pick out of the NFC are the Rams, and I'm sticking to it. No Devontae Adams this game. That's kind of a big deal. But that just means Puka's got more touchdown opportunity. Kyron is obviously somebody who is still rolling, but they got Blake Corum, and they've really kind of integrated him well into this offense. he's been able to spell Kyron and not taking anything away. It's just Blake Corum has been very productive. And I never really saw this burst out of him like when he was in Michigan, right? And last year he was kind of eased in and
Yeah.
everybody had him as a lottery ticket pick. And then this is the year he's sort of coming to fruition where they're giving him the opportunities. You could tell if Kyron went down, Blake Corum's a one-man wrecking crew, right? Like he looks like
Yeah.
he's everything for a
Yeah.
McVay running back. He catches the ball, he runs hard, he's got this pop. He seems to have a little bit of that stutter step explosion. He's got the lateral quickness. I've liked everything that I've seen him in so far. I will say I know this game is going to be heavily relying on Kyron and Corum, and then they'll see what they get out of Kobe Parkinson and then a little bit of Puka, or I'm sure a lot of bit of Puka. What do you think about this game? How do you think the Seahawks actually fare in this? Because this is crazy. The Seahawks are given 1.5, right? But I still feel like the Rams, this is their game to lose.
Yeah, I would agree with you if Devontae was healthy. It's a real bummer that this game is a Thursday night game. This should be like a Monday night or a Sunday night because you're literally these teams are playing for the bye.
Yeah, these are
Playing
two
for
11
home
and
field
3 teams.
advantage. I mean, it's just
The
crazy. to
division
think
is
that
on the
this
line because whoever loses that leg.
Yeah, and it's a bummer that the Rams are going to be without one of their best weapons. But grab me a river, right? You got to go out there and play the game. I could see Seattle winning this game. Seattle has not looked good though, right? Recently, like Phillip Rivers did not. I mean, I think he threw like 2 balls that carried over 10 yards in the air. I mean, and they still he threw 27 times for 120 yards. I know they're like, oh well, he gets them in the right set, and I'm like, come on, guys, that's crazy. But that's the way the game dictated, and they had the game won, right? Phillip
So
Rivers
you
had the
got to
game
see
won.
Phillip Rivers on tape? Like you
Yeah,
watched him play live?
yeah, I watched the highlights. I didn't watch
What did it
every
look
throw.
like? Because obviously I was just a little.
Looks like Tua, to be honest with you. It looks like a right-handed Tua.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
always had the T-Rex release that it
Yeah.
looks like he short arms it, you know?
He looked like a right-handed Tua. I mean, good for him. And the Colts, they're trying to push into the playoffs, so whatever. But back to this Seahawks-Rams game. I don't really know what to make of it. It's unfortunate too because there's so many fantasy implications with this game. I mean, most people that are in the playoffs have Kyron Williams, they have Puka, they have JSN, they have one of these quarterbacks. And like if Stafford got you here, you kind of feel like, ooh, do you even start on this game, right? Cold, windy, probably rainy, I'm assuming, in Seattle. Do you really roll Stafford or Sam Darnold out in this game? Oh, this is going to be tricky.
I like
can
Seattle's
see a low
defense. Do you
score.
like Rams defense this game?
I mean, I don't love it, but I could see it being a low-scoring game. Sam Darnold hasn't had a passing touchdown in 3 of his last 5 games.
Right.
So, JSN is still producing at a very high level. He had a quiet game last game, and he still had 100 yards.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I just don't think that the Seahawks have shown us much. They haven't really had that big win. But I don't see I don't know. Matt Stafford on a short week. Puka is always hurt on a short week. Devontae Adams not in the game. I just see the Seahawks maybe win this game 19-16 or 21-17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just being
I have
kind of
the
one of
option
those
to
field
start
position games.
I have the option to start the Rams defense tonight. It definitely looks like it could be a little bit of a more low scoring game, so it's semi-attractive.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
especially if there's elements and you know that the Rams defense is solid and Sam Darnold sees ghosts. And that's the only reason why I have him as an option.
What did he throw 4 interceptions last time they played? I think 3 or 4.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And if you were to actually, because we're talking about it right now, and you look at the Rams defense last time they played, they put up 5 points. So I mean, it wasn't great against
the Rams
Seattle.
put up 5 points and they had 4 interceptions.
Oh, no, they didn't have. It doesn't look like they had 4. Yeah, they had 4 interceptions, and they still only put up 5 points.
Yeah, the Rams don't look. I don't really look at the Rams like a sexy defensive play ever.
That's why these are the important questions. It's semi-final week,
Yeah,
These are
I mean, let's
important
go.
questions. Any leg. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably starting. I already told you. I'm probably starting the Saints, D. I don't know if Munson the troll is listening or whatnot, but the Saints home against the Jets. Think I'm gonna just roll with it, and you know, that's
I mean,
what
yeah, let's
fantasy.
talk about our fantasy league a little bit, right? We have, the 6 people make the playoffs, 2 had buys. You had me versus somebody, and the
I
other
can't
bracket.
believe. Yeah, I looked over the group chat. I love how you were like, "Yeah, I guess we'll let the other players."
But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, next year, do we do that? Do we just the 4 people that make the playoffs don't do it head to head? Just have the top 2 people that score advance? Because it's a joke that Jeff or Sean. Now you can argue it's because of playoff seeding or whatever, but the team on this bracket, the score was like 120 to 110. The team on this bracket, this is a half point PPR, is 190 to 180. I mean, the 190 and 180, those big dogs should advance. I'm not talking about this. I mean, I was joking, obviously, like in the group chat.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
But should we kind of head to head in regular season is something big, but we want to get rid of the luck factor, right? You want to get rid of the luck factor when it comes to fantasy. You want to get rid of what we call in like poker a lot is variance, right? Where if you outsmart the person and you outplay the person, you should win, right? So if I outplay you in fantasy, should I advance? That's the question. Or should we just have luck involved?
I remember you telling one of your more classical stories about the first $1,000 buy-in league you were in, and the way that they did it every 4 weeks, the seeds played, and there was less variance, right?
There was no playoffs. There's no
playoffs, and I get that, and I know there are years that you have that those are very, but they're. I think the reason why you love the traditional and the classic setup is because there is always a chance that you could sneak into the playoffs as a 6 and your team gets hot, you get the right matchups or whatever falls in your favor, and you can win a whole league. You don't get that. You don't get that anymore whenever we do that and we change formats where the more consistent teams are the ones that are always going to shake out or the highest scores, because it does take a stinker from a good team or for somebody to lay an egg for sometimes these other teams to get through. It wouldn't be that way. Like Sean wouldn't be playing this week. You know what I mean? If that were to be the case.
But I agree when it comes to the regular season, because also with the regular season, people will give up very quickly if they, you know what I mean? If whatever the case may be. So yeah, in the regular season, you can get lucky and sneak in. But when you get to the playoffs, right? Shouldn't we have the best fantasy teams advancing? In the regular season, yeah, you get lucky. It's kind of fun, shake things up. But in the playoffs, why is a guy like Sean Munson who barely broke 100 and my team who puts up 180, I'm sitting on the sidelines?
Right.
And also, I had a better regular season than Sean also, so we could even argue that, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I lost.
Sonny's team. It was a buzzsaw. Like you literally knew it. The matchups were just in his favor. You could see matchups, and you could. But
also, it's crazy to think that if Corvelli would have set his lineup, I wouldn't have played Sonny. I would have played Sean.
Yeah, and this is the shit that we talk about. Why it's so important to have a league that wants to be checked in. And I know you cheersed them that night, and you hung out with them, and everybody made amends with Corvelli that night. You know what I mean? And everyone talked about it because I know it was a big topic. But these are the reasons why it does matter every single game, every single week to have somebody put forth their best foot, their best lineup, make the decisions, make the moves, because these are the skews. He fucked you. Literally. He put you in a situation that you shouldn't have been in. And then this is what happens. And
all right, let's answer Gene's question really quick. The Vikings D versus the Giants. I'm doing Eagles defense versus Commanders. Eagles defense has looked great. Yeah, I like the Eagles defense.
Starting the Vikings defense against the Giants. I'm like, okay, go ahead, Jackson Dart.
Let's
light him up.
Like Dart's gonna have a good game. I don't see the Vikings scoring a lot there. Yeah, Johnny T disagrees with me. He says, "Hey, you just got to beat your opponent," which I also do. There is an aspect of that I agree with, because it's so frustrating when you have these leagues that are not head to head, because pretty much every single guy that you see blow up that isn't yours is affecting you. Where when you just play against your opponent, it's one thing. But I just think in the playoffs, once you make the playoffs, the best team should win. And it's not head to head. Like when I play, for example, this week, the Giants play the Vikings. The Giants are a team. The Vikings are a team. They battle and go heads up versus each other. Fantasy football isn't like that. Every player's from a different team. You start them and you hope that works out. So it's like head to head really isn't, head to head when it comes to a matchup.
I think we've both won championships. We've both lost championships. Matchups are a thing. Players going hot or cold are a thing. I think that's kind of the magic and the madness of fantasy football. And I think that, yes, if you're playing for Bitcoin buy-ins or the bigger the buy, whatever you want to say, I think that I could make more of a case of trying to limit the variant or whatever, the ability that teams who make it in shouldn't make it in. I feel that it is part of what makes fantasy football so great is the fact that you could be a 7-8 team or whatever it is and still sneak in and have a little bit of magic at. We're a 7-7 team. I get you though. You're not wrong, man. And it sucks, bro. I was pulling for you, especially because Sonny's over here with a proxy drafter. Like he didn't even draft his fucking team. He doesn't have the proper fucking attitude towards fantasy football. He doesn't participate in the chat. He doesn't show up for his drafts. He's got his name on the trophy a couple times. There's a picture that we took, like one of the last times I saw him. It was almost 10 years ago. I swear to God. It's just crazy, bro. This guy's in our league. He says he never wants to leave our league, but he says he never wants to show up either. So why should you have to lose to a fucking mark on the wall? Like he's just a poster cutout. Like it was some other dude who's a regular in our restaurant that drafted for him that thinks he's good at football because he had an opportunity to show up and draft for Sonny. Fuck out of here, bro. That shit pisses me off.
But he drafted. Yeah, but I mean that's why we do in-person drafts. So it wasn't like auto drafting. The guy drafted a great team. I mean, the guy drafted Amon-Ra and JSN, and that's
absolutely.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm less mad.
It should have been Sonny drafting these people and not him. You're not even playing Sonny's team, really. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm less mad about that. But I get that aspect of it. I just think like there's a lot of big fantasy money leagues where either you do 2-week matchups.
Your cousin agrees with me. I'm telling you right now. You need some active blood. Get Johnny T in here. Sonny, you're out of here, bro. You're out of here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Over here beating one of the legends in our league, TJ, and you didn't even draft your team. Right there, I think that should be a rule. If you didn't draft your team and you make the playoffs, you're fucking gone, buddy. You're out of here. You didn't even draft your team. Why do you get to reap the bennies of something you didn't even do?
And also, our league is like, it's not like a full point PPR. To put up 182,
it's a massive week. It was one of the bigger weeks in the league.
I tried to look back. No one's ever lost in the playoffs putting up 180 in our league. I went back as far as I could go back. Also, there's only been 4. I did it twice. It's only been like 5 times, I think, this year that someone even put up over 180. Sonny's team put up 190, mainly because of Kyle Pitts. That was a good start for him, but you're just kind of like, what the fuck? And like my team was just battling. And it also sucks. A loss to loss. I take the loss, whatever. But like Gibbs and Judkins combined get me 10 points, and I still put up 182. That's like you literally. I've been like kind of biting the bullet a little bit, waiting for. I'm like sitting in a different part of my family room, so I like see people walking by. It's like kind of trippy. It just hurt, and like to watch my team battle, and you're just like. Motherfucker.
No, yeah, you came all the way back. You fought. You gave it a chance. I was trying to watch.
Gibbs let me. Yeah, Gibbs let me down, and that like the argument next year might be like, do you go a Gibbs or do you go a C-Mac? This is the thing about Gibbs. He's gonna have.
Is C-Mac going to be able to do this again? Like this is the thing about C-Mac. If you had the balls to draft him this year, you get lucky. But next year, when everybody's on the post-hype train, I feel like that's his disappointment, right?
Yeah, like C-Mac, it just doesn't have it in him to get you a 40 or 50, but he just constantly gets you 20 to 25, And Gibbs is just going to have stinkers. That when you draft Gibbs, you know that. Mainly because they have so many weapons around you. And also, he does not get the goal line work. So it's very easy because he's so talented to put up 50 or 60, or he's done 40 plus, which is crazy, like 3 or 4 times this year.
Right.
But he doesn't get the goal line carry. So, and
Well, when you
Judkins,
draft your number 1 guys, you need them to show up for 3 weeks, really, weeks 14, 15, and 16. You know what I mean? Or 15, 16, 17. And if they don't show up, your first pick doesn't show up in their first week of the playoffs, your odds they go down. You need those top picks to show up, and your other guys who you're so smart with the value, they continue to produce. That's the recipe, right? Your top picks got to produce.
And then you see that it was so funny in my matchup. I just needed Gibbs to counteract Amon-Ra.
Right.
All
that was literally it. Just
Gibbs and Amon-Ra puts up 38, I think, and Gibbs put up 7. That's disgusting, right? Because it is what it is. All right, let's talk about the Falcons-Bucks game. Bucks are spiraling.
Hold on, Carolina? Yeah. Is it Carolina?
Well, I was talking about last Thursday.
Oh, okay, last week. Sorry. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, we didn't really have a Tuesday show, so I would just think we'd break down some of these games.
Kyle Pitts just absolutely starts it off for everybody during semifinal, or I guess week 1 playoffs, blows up, has one of the more historical games for tight ends. 3 touchdowns.
I think it was the second best. It was either the second or third best game ever as a tight end. Shannon Sharp had one where he got over 200 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. And then Kelsey and Pitts are really close to the second best game ever. Right? I don't know how the Bucks didn't know they were going to throw to Kyle Pitts, because we talked about it. We talked about it on the show, right? We're like, no Drake London. The Bucks got to take away Pitts. For some reason, the Bucks didn't know that. Also, the Bucks.
That's hilarious, dude.
The Bucks got healthy. They had Mike Evans that game, who had 100 yards, a very quiet 100-yard game. But Mike Evans looked great, and
he was doing a classic Mike Evans thing, catching the ball on. He's such a dude. He's a monster, man.
I've been kind of on this Bucks bandwagon. Yep, I've been on the Bucks bandwagon saying they could beat anybody in the NFL. They got to make the playoffs, and they just got to make the playoffs. But man, they just don't look right, and I don't know. They just don't look right. And to me, they just always kind of look like, I don't know.
Well, it was kind of weird, right? Because Kirk Cousins is a stick in the mud, and they couldn't get the pressure on him. And he's just over here dealing to Pitts in every situation possible, and you couldn't I don't know, bracket him, cover that, make him throw to somebody else. Let somebody else beat you. It was just a coming out party for Kyle Pitts. And don't get me wrong, I had a couple leagues where he helped me get by. It was kind of crazy. The 2 leagues I actually played in that week, right? Last week, I had Kyle Pitts in both. And he went bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and we've been waiting for Pitts not really to have this kind of game, but we've been saying, because I'll never forget. I watched Pitts obviously with the Gators. Yeah, he looked great. And then he struggled early on in the NFL. And
his rookie year came out 1,000-yard year. That's why everybody was anointing him.
Yeah, and then he really struggled after that, right? I didn't even know
it's been a fall off, and this is the first year he's been relevant since.
And I'll never forget when I first saw him on TV, watched a full game. I'm like, who's this number 8 guy? Because he wasn't lined up at tight end. He's really not a tight end, right?
Right.
And I'm like, that's Kyle Pitts, because he looked so special. He looks bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody on the field.
Yes, he does.
And I'm like, holy cow, how could you be so statistically not good when, you know what I mean? Where
I feel it was all Arthur Blank early on, or whoever their coach was, right? It was all their coaching, and they would just never get him involved. And I feel that after that, it was okay, we're a run team because we got Bijan and Algier. So we kind of lost some of that. And then they get Drake London. They're like, we got a new car. We got to sit there and get him going. So it's he just kind of kept falling backseat to these other weapons. And here he is in his prime. He's still every year we talk about it. He's 26. And it's
25.
So crazy how
25, and I
He's
think he just
25.
turned.
He's
20.
been in the league forever, and he's like 25. He's still not even in his prime years
He
yet.
just turned 25, by the way.
That's unbelievable.
He just turned 25
So
2
he's
months
starting
ago.
to blossom. If you got Kyle Pitts, you're firing him up for the rest of the playoffs. He's obviously a target there. Drake London's
Where
only
does
helping.
Pitts go next year? Where does Kyle Pitts go in the draft
He
next
sneaks
year?
into the tight end one conversation. I mean, he's going to be in the top 5, 6. He's going to be that dude like Mark Andrews was this year. Are you taking him in round 5, round 6? You're taking him probably ahead of Kelsey. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like if Kelsey comes back, you're just looking at him. Who is his quarterback? Is it Penix? You know, like obviously it should be Penix. And Penix was really big on him in the preseason this year, talking about it's going to be Kyle Pitts year. So are they going to continue to grow him in that offense as they have been recently? Or is this kind of they're turning to him because they need other things to go? Like,
is he tight end number 3 behind McBride and Kittle?
At the moment, you have to say, yeah. I mean,
you drafted him ahead of Laporta?
Is it Bowers? Is it you know
what I mean?
Fix
that quarterback situation. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is where it gets murky. And I think the only way you can even talk top 3 is it's pure productivity. After that, then you can speculate, right? But pure productivity should seed out your tight end 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's kind of clear on paper. I think Kyle Pitts is that guy who's trending late in the year, who was already showing flashes, you know. It's just about, is the team actually going to involve him? And Kirk Cousins being such a non-mobile quarterback, I definitely feel boost Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
He's not a mobile guy. He's going to get the ball out in less than 2 seconds. And Kirk Cousins, it's crazy, right? We literally thought Kirk Cousins was cooked before he even started stepping in. And then now you see Kirk Cousins actually get a couple of things going, being a serviceable quarterback again. So now he's back into the talk of somebody who can go forward, run an offense, be a backup, get signed cheap, somebody who can come in and maintain and hold up, because the Falcons all of a sudden are still breathing life into their run. And you have the Bucks and the Panthers this week after they just beat the Bucks. Like, what happens if the Panthers beat the Bucks? You know what I mean? Like, things get super interesting. The Panthers already shut out the Falcons like 31-0 earlier in the year. The Falcons beat the Bucks. The Panthers and Bucks play, and this is all implications. Gene, our wonderful producer, who is a Jets fan, sadly, did just say that Bowles should be fired if the Bucks miss the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a case. The Bucks haven't really been healthy for very much of the year, so I don't think it's always fair to judge a team who is just battling injury and attrition at so many positions. But I will say this is put up or shut up when it comes to this week for them. Do you like the Falcons going forward for the rest of the season? Have you seen their matchups?
Yeah, I mean,
they're playing the Cardinals this week.
Yeah, they're out of the playoffs, but they can ruin some stuff for people.
No, right. They're just over here playing spoiler alert. They just fucked the Bucks. That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but yeah, they're the Falcons are a force. I mean, you have Bijan Robinson, you have Kyle Pitts, you get Drake London back. I mean, that offense is a force, and we've seen it this year when they're hot. And then when they get shut out, you're just like, what's going on? I don't get it where you're beating the Bills on Monday Night Football, then you're getting like shut out. They're all over the place.
Too. It was like it was a very impressive win. That was their best win of the season by far. No, it is interesting, man. But I know we gotta move on from that game. We'll go ahead and keep breaking down.
Let's talk about the Bills-Patriots game. I mean, Patriots are up 21-0. They're running all over them, and then Josh Allen does Josh Allen things and comes back. I wasn't that surprised they came back because you just cannot hold Josh Allen down for that long. But is that going to linger over? Is that going to carry over?
Let me tell you
to the postseason.
Funny story, man. So I'm out there. We're in Cozumel when this is going down, and we end up outside of the port. And there's the old Hooters. They turned into this new Mexican spot. If you know Cozumel, there's a Hooters right off the port. It's no longer. So they have the NFL package everywhere. So I'm like, awesome. Let's go ahead and hang out here for a second.
Yeah.
So we get these tacos. We're looking, and I literally watched Travion break another one out or whatever it was, and they go up big. And I'm like, oh, this is a great time to like sit there and live bet the Bills, right? So I literally log into Hard Rock. I try to take them because they're such a plus money
Oh,
just to
that's
throw a
funny.
little action on it
Yeah.
because this is like the time to take the Bills. Jeff told the story. We
Yeah.
already know. And I literally look, and Hard Rock cannot locate me. So I cannot
Yeah.
place the bet. And then Josh Allen just starts going nuts. I didn't see the game. We get back on the boat. We're hanging out. We're just kind of like, I'm letting football go. It's all about the wife. It's her birthday. And all of a sudden, there's some lady coming in. She's wearing like a Bills shirt or whatever. She's stumbling to the elevator. I'm like, hey, how did the game turn out? She goes, we came back. I'm like, no shit, you guys came back? She goes, yeah. She goes, I got to go to bed. I'm hammered. She got absolutely obliterated because the Bills came all the way back, and it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and she was
That's
done for the
funny.
day. Oh, it was great, man. I had no idea that the Bills came all the way back. She told me when I was exchanging on the elevator, and then I knew then that I lost that money on that bet that I couldn't take because Hard Rock couldn't locate me. Sad day. But what a game. And do you think this does anything for them going forward? Is this like
I
a
don't know.
shift in the AFC? Or is it
Yeah, I
like
don't
already
know.
written?
I think that the Bills. Let me look really quick. Odds to win AFC.
Because the Patriots play the Ravens, and if the Ravens handle business on Sunday Night Football, it gets a little interesting, right?
Yeah, I think that.
Because this week, the Bills.
That's crazy. The Ravens right now are favorite.
The Bills are at the Browns.
The Broncos are favorite to win the AFC. Then the Bills.
Over the Patriots,
Broncos.
right?
Yeah, Broncos, Bills, Texans, Patriots. Those are the favorites to win the AFC right
so
now.
The Bills are at the Browns. Then we're just overlooking their schedule real quick. Then they're home against the Eagles, right? So at the Brown, home against the Eagles, and then their last game is most likely, I would say, divisional, home against the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Bills are the favorites to win. I can't pick the Broncos over the Bills just because the Bills just beat them by 40 or 30 in the playoffs last year, opening round, right? I don't know if it's going to linger. I think the Patriots are going to just miss it. I don't think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. But man, without Mahomes and maybe without Lamar Jackson and without Joe Burrow, this is new times for the AFC.
This is wide open this year.
The Texans, I mean, with that defense and CJ Stroud with those weapons, I mean, they have weapons all over the place at receiver.
And they got Woody Marks rolling. They got a solid run.
Woody Marks has looked pretty good. It's going to be real fun to watch. It's going to be fun to break that down. I think the Bills coming back.
So you think the Ravens
might
are
hurt the
going to
Patriots a little bit?
You think the Ravens beat the Patriots this week? Because that's what has to take place for the Bills to take the division. Right?
I mean, we have to see the Patriots beat you know what I mean? The Patriots have had a real easy schedule, right? Obviously, you play the Dolphins, you play the Jets.
They did beat the Bills one time.
They beat the Bills. They beat the Bills one time.
And they were up 21-0. I mean, they blew that game. So they won one time.
Come down here, baby. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Browns. They beat the Titans. They played the Saints. I mean, it's been
It's one of the easiest schedules in the league. We talked about it.
Yeah.
So this is the put up or shut up game. They're at Baltimore. Yeah.
It's going to be at Baltimore. This is a big game. And, obviously Steeler fans will be watching this game real close. It's a Sunday night game. It's in Baltimore. Baltimore's favorite, I'm assuming. Oh, God, they don't even put the odds on ESPN.
Baltimore by 3, 48.5 points.
Yeah. So what does that tell you? Baltimore 7-7, Patriots are 11-3, and Baltimore's still favorite by 3.
Yep.
So, Briella, come here, baby.
They got the line at 48.5. It sounds kind of like you think it's going to be the under.
I think it'd be a little more of a low scoring.
Yeah, it kind of feels low scoring, definitely. Especially if you're going to sit there and, like you said, have the Ravens really play clock management and whatnot.
Yeah.
You got Qua saying that this is the year that Allen gets a clear path. Yeah, I mean, this is if there's no Lamar, depending on this, right? And Drake May has something to do with it. And then there's no Mahomes. I mean, Burrow's gone, right? Those are Those are like really the usual suspects.
If I had to make a Super Bowl prediction right now, I'd say Bills, Eagles. I think just those two teams have been there so much late. Josh Allen finally gets what Kevin's saying, the clear path. And then Eagles, I just don't see anybody in the NFC.
I got the Rams
I just
over
see
the
the
Eagles.
I just see the Rams or the
Bills,
Seahawks
Rams. Yeah, I
faltering
like that better too. So we actually agree on something, Gene. Never mind, I'm changing my pick.
Yeah.
He's a mush. I'll never pick what he picks.
If the Bills and Rams only knew the power that our producer has.
Just go ahead and fade both those teams right now. Looks like it's going to be the Eagles and the Ravens again. There you go. If that's what he's saying. No, it is interesting, and that's a massive game that we have to sit there and talk about. Breaking down, we got 2 Saturday games.
Yeah.
A little weird, right? So you got the Eagles and Commanders, and you got the Packers at the Bears. Eagles at the Commanders. Phillies heavily favored by almost a touchdown. This is a game where you would expect them to go in and handle business. It's going to take the Commanders playing a perfect game plan.
Is this a way of the NFL? I'm shocked that the NFL is just shitting on the college football playoff. Like, can we talk about that for a minute?
How they're just NFL, on Saturdays and saying "fuck the playoff" and we don't care about what's coming up.
There's 3 college football games, playoff football games coming on Saturday. I think that the way the college football committee, I know they had to make some decisions, but the way it all played out has left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I think that if you're not a fan of these teams, NFL proceeds over everybody. If you're not a fan, now the Hurricanes and plays Texas A&M, that game is at noon. The NFL's first game isn't until 5 o'clock.
It's at 5 and at 8:20. So they tried to space it out to where you get college, NFL, and they did put the NFL game. The first game isn't as important, right? It's going to be kind of crazy though when they're playing the night college football game, and it's going to be the Packers and Bears because everyone's going to want to see what happens in that game. That's a massive game.
Yeah, so this Eagles-Commanders game, I have a feeling will just be a one-way wrecking ball. You know, Eagles kind of beat them up pretty bad.
Sure.
Start the Eagles defense if you got it. Eagles defense has been a very high-scoring defense this year.
I got them in one game.
Yeah. And, but –
and then the other game is the Packers at the Bears. What do you think about this game with no Micah?
Yeah, there's some crazy stats that show you that Micah was very, very valuable to that Packers defense.
Right.
He had like 67 quarterback hurries.
He was leading the league in hurries, 100%.
I want to talk about this really quick too.
Okay.
This was just some cool insight when you heard Dominic Foxworth talk about how you're a defensive back and how losing maybe the best top 3 pass rusher in the NFL, how it affects you as a cornerback. We all know, basic stuff shows you that if you're a cornerback and you have a great pass rush, you don't have to cover as much, right?
Right.
You don't
because that ball's coming out early and you get to
the ball's coming out. But it was cool to hear his insight, and it was like so just off the cuff, or it was like instinctual, right?
Right.
But he was saying that when you have a guy like Parsons on the field, right? Follow me here for a second. I'm hoping my listeners can follow me too. He says, at first you're watching the tight end, because if the tight end isn't lined up on Mika's side,
right,
that means there's no one to chip Parsons, right?
Right.
So therefore, if there's no one to chip Parsons, that means the tight end is lined up on the other side of the field.
Right.
That means they're definitely most likely either running to that side or they're getting the ball out real quick, right? So just think about that for a second, how much information these guys process that quick. It's like me and you in the restaurant business, right? We see a table sit down, and the wife, okay, I'll get it for you, baby. The first thing the wife does is she picks up all the silverware, looks at it, puts it to the side, lifts at the glassware. Right away, we know these people are, we have to make sure we're on point, right? They're very meticulous, right? So as a defensive back, this guy, Foxworth is saying, all right, you got to get him from upstairs, baby. Hold on, I'll get it for you. You have to go get, all right, really quick. So the tight end's not lined up on Parsons' side. that means they're running to the other side. Or that means you're getting the ball out real quick. You're sitting on the first route, falling for a double move. But that
Right.
gives a little bit of how big Parsons. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab something for. But that's how quick Parsons, him not being on the field, changes everything.
It
He
changes
also
everything.
leads you. Yeah, he had like 67 pass or quarterback hurries. That is the second Packer has like 23.
Right.
So bottom line is Parsons being out for the rest of the year destroys their chances because of all the injuries they've had on the offense.
And it's a coin flip game. Chicago's given a point and a half. That just shows you that this is anyone's ball game, and having a Micah Parsons is a difference maker in a ball game like this.
Exactly. And like, if the Bears lose at the end of the world, no, the Bears can easily win that. Not easily, but can win that game. It's going to be tight. But pretty much the Packers not having Parsons is going to destroy their playoff chances or destroy their Super Bowl chances. They're most likely going to make the playoffs. But it's going to destroy.
On to the and that's going to be coinciding along with the college football playoffs too, that game. So it's going to be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sunday, I have, of course, my Cowboys are dinged first to go against the Chargers. It's a 1:00 game. Obviously, we're eliminated. We're home. This is a game that the Chargers need, and we're trying to play spoiler. And I think that the way it's rated is that they have one of the better pass defenses. That it's a minus matchup for the Cowboys offense per se. But I like our chances. We're going to be swinging. We're going to have to catch up. And you know that people score on us, so we're going to have to play and score with them. So I definitely like it. The line is at almost 50. It's 49.5. And I was talking to you about the whole Dak Drake May thing. And I think this game has a little bit more potential when it comes to high scoring ability.
Yeah, and Chargers, I mean, they're most likely in the playoffs. They're most likely not going to get a bye or anything like that. But this is this is a game that could easily be lost. Cowboys, I think, are still one of the top teams in the NFL, but they just haven't been able to put it together. They've had some, unlucky breaks, and the Cowboys got to look for the future. I don't know what's in line for the Cowboys, to be honest with you. I hope, as a football fan, they re-sign Pickens, right?
Right.
I hope that it's Pickens and Lamb going. Lamb hasn't been able to stay healthy this year, and he's had a pretty brutal season when it comes to drops,
yes,
and everything like that. But I think as a Cowboy fan, you run it back, right? For next year?
No, you have to. Yeah, you have to.
You run it back. You try to, I don't know what the Javonte Williams contract situation is like, but if you could bring back Javonte, you could bring back Pickens.
Yeah, we got
dumping a lot of money.
A very friendly deal. Try to sign Pickens and see what he's willing to do. See if Dak can restructure a little bit. We have like the second highest salary cap available or something like that. So we'll have a little bit of, but we just got to nail our draft. We got to continue to build our defense because obviously the offense is leading that way. Other games, you do have the Jets at the Saints. Stinkers. I'm starting the Saints defense. It's fantasy relevance. You're starting Olave. You're starting the Saints defense. It sounds like who is it? Audric Estime is going to be leading that backfield. If you need a flyer running back, go start him because Devin Neal is out. And then you got this guy Cook, who's going to be starting for the Jets, right? And then that's who, Adonai Mitchell, and you got a little bit of Breece Hall, and you're trying to find some relevance out of there. But it will be something coming out of that game that will affect the playoffs. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't care anything else. That game's probably going over too. The line's at 40.5. Kind of like that. Bills and Browns, moving on. We talked about this game. Bills got to handle business. The Browns trying to play spoiler. Weather isn't going to be a thing. It's a 1:00 game. It's just about the Bills are 10.5-point favorites. Can they cover?
Yeah. I mean, this is a big game for Shador, right? Because Shador's had some good games. Then he had a really, really bad one yesterday.
Right.
And now they're saying he doesn't process information fast enough. He's just more of like a guy that he can make plays just because he's always looking downfield. But can he actually run an offense? So I think this is a very big game for Shador. Can he run the offense? Can he put up stats? Because I thought that maybe Shador played himself into
that total
starting quarterback conversation.
It's 41.5. I feel like that's definitely going over.
I know, because we've
that
seen
doesn't
the Browns
look right to me.
We've seen the Browns defense get torched, so it's not like the Browns defense is that good.
Yeah, are they just predicting like an egg by Josh Allen or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chiefs at
Not a
Titans.
great matchup though. If you're like, Overman has the Bills go, you have Josh Allen. You've had Josh Allen all year. He's
Right.
gotten you to the promised land, and
And he
now,
just dropped a massive bomb again. So odds
yeah,
are
and now you have Josh Allen versus the Browns.
right.
Not ideal. All right, baby. I got to speed things up here though.
Yeah, Chiefs and Titans, obviously, they're cooked. It's just about your playoff players that are going to be coming out of there and seeing what Gardner Minshew is going to look like running that Chiefs offense, right? Because that's who it's going to be. It's
Yeah,
going to be Gardner. And I mean, hey, he's proven he can throw a little bit. We'll see. He likes
yeah,
his
it's
tight
kind of
end.
crazy.
He might light up Kelsey. Who knows? Vikings and Giants. We talked about this.
Yeah, a
This
lot
is
of games that have no meaning except for draft picks.
yeah,
You got a
exactly.
bit.
It's draft picks and fantasy implications. The Vikings are giving 3 to the Giants. Anybody who's starting the Vikings defense, thank you so much. I like the Giants on that. We already talked about the Bucks Panthers, the Bengals and Dolphins. There's no Tua, and it is going to be Joe Burrow contemplating. You heard the cryptic message. You think about a lot of things. Are you playing here? I think that's just him being a smartass, just because
I
he hates
also
the
think it's
questions that people are
yeah,
asking him.
I know.
He's like, yeah, you think about a lot of things.
And it was also funny because they were like, "What do you think about Quinn Ewers starting?" And they're like, "He's like, well, you could tell he didn't really want to answer the question.
Right.
It's like, well, it's tough because he's coming in, late to the party, blah blah." He goes, "We're already week 14. He's got to be a starter." And I'm like, "Week 14? That doesn't sound right. We're in week 16, by the way."
Yeah, we're in week 16.
But it just kind of shows you how checked out Burrow is, and I think that I can be honest with you. I'm waiting to hear Burrow take a little bit of accountability.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Burrow to say, "Hey, yeah,
Are you
I'm the
starting
most
Joe
sacked
Burrow
quarterback."
against the Dolphins this week?
I'm not. I'm staying away from Burrow.
If
If
it's between Jackson Dart and Joe Burrow,
I'll start Jackson Dart there. I mean, like Burrow's obviously not completely off the table, but there's a good chance that Ewers doesn't score the ball. They don't score a lot, right?
right?
So they might not need to light it up. But I see why you're asking this question though. You're thinking Burrow might have one of those lighted up games.
Right, and Higgins is probably going to be playing. I got Higgins, so I got him worried in my lineup. Because as we're getting to it late into these matchups, you got the Jaguars at Broncos. Jaguars got me to the promised land in one of my leagues last week. 6 touchdowns by Trevor. That was unbelievable. I picked him up and streamed him too.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Bro, I had Trevor Lawrence and Kyle Pitts in that league. They just blew.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
How many points you put up?
I still only put up like 160. It was 100 from those two, crazy. Yeah, but it got me through my cousin's league.
Different ways to skin a cat,
I am the underdog. That's the only semifinal matchup I am an underdog in, playing like the 1 seed or something in that league. The Falcons are Cardinals. Talked about this. It's just, we talked about the Falcons a little bit. The Falcons are obviously going to be running the Bijan and Kyle Pitts show, sprinkled in with some Drake London, looks like this week. Cardinals, it looks like Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably back. Jacoby Brissett still rolling.
Where's Trey McBride going next year?
He's probably
in the draft.
Arguably tight end 1, I would say. You do have Michael Carter, looks like, is going to be the only active running back for the Cardinals. Streaming opportunity there for somebody who needs to risk it for the biscuit. You got the Raiders at the Texans. That Texans defense is disgusting. The line's 37.5. So what are they saying? Yeah. Is it the Texans 37, Raiders 0? It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, that's about as low as you get in a dome.
In a dome, 100%.
Yeah.
I know we both like the Texans. The Texans are the biggest favorite, 14.5 points. It's kind of crazy. The Steelers at the Lions, massive game, both 8-6 teams. The Steelers have to win this. Like you said, they're watching that Ravens game. That is a game that how did the Lions defense work against the Lions offense against the Steelers defense in Detroit? Think it's something to worry about or no?
Yeah, this is one of the few games that actually means something. I don't know what to make of this game because the Lions
are giving 7 points and the line is 52.5. That's I'm definitely taking the Steelers on that line.
I know that just the Lions are in a situation where they have to win. It's just so hard to believe that this Lions team would not be in the playoffs.
Right.
But let's look at the NFL playoff standings right now. Yeah, if it ended right now, Lions would be the odd one. They'd be 8th.
It'd be 8th.
This is the problem, is that the wild card teams all have 4 losses.
Yeah.
I've never seen that this late. Like,
that's not a lot. They're all good teams.
Yeah,
Good
like
schedules.
It's like the Bucks are 7-7. I mean, God, I mean,
it's always the Bucks just meddling around, right? It's so crazy. The Steelers at Lions, yeah, that's massive game. So Patriots and Ravens,
a big game.
This is massive game, right? You like the Ravens in this? Lions 48.5.
I mean, it's a massive game.
So I got Drake May or Dak, I told you. I got Travion Henderson. I'm firing up. I can start Hunter Henry or Mark Andrews in this one. Kind of leaning Mark Andrews in that one. But here's where it comes down. Sean has Brock Purdy Monday night.
Yeah.
Again, at the Colts, right? That's his.
And you have Jonathan Taylor.
I have Jonathan Taylor Monday night. So it's Purdy versus Taylor. And that's where I'm okay with. So that's why this Dak and Drake May decision is so important for me. Because it's a 1 o'clock quarterback versus a Sunday night quarterback. And he's got a Monday nighter no matter what, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you'd rather have like your Sunday night quarterback go, you know, and just all the
that's Drake May at the Ravens.
Yeah.
Or it's Dak early and you let him roll and see what happens on the 1 o'clock.
CeeDee Lamb still hurt?
Let's
that's a decision. I mean, if Lamb is playing.
I'm pretty sure Lamb's playing, honestly.
Yeah, so if Lamb's playing, you start Dak. Yeah, Lamb's playing, it looks like.
Yeah, Lamb's playing. And Pickens is in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying mentally, I'm hoping that he shows up.
Yeah. If Lamb wasn't playing, then you start.
Illness. Yep. He should be fine.
He cleared concussion protocol. Yeah, so you have to wait till Sunday because if he's, God forbid, still sick. I mean, we've known people had the flu for a week, and there's nothing to play for. So if you're sick and you're barely clearing concussion protocol, do you play? But I think that's the big decision. But
I'm just hoping Purdy has one of those games where he throws 0 touchdowns and 180 yards.
Yeah, good luck to you in fantasy. I mean, the Colts defense locked up Sam Darnold last week.
Yep.
So I don't think it's not a dream matchup for Brock Purdy.
You want to talk any college? You want to talk any college football?
We've done enough. We've done enough of that. I mean,
yeah,
Well,
this is our last show for the holiday.
Yeah,
we're off for the rest of the year. It's been a fun football season. By the time we get back on, fantasy playoffs are going to be over, and we'll be talking about IRL teams in real life and who's spoiler and who's doing all these things. I wish you nothing but love these next couple of weeks for you and your family. Everybody, thanks for the support and watching Prop Stars. It's been a really fun year. Obviously, we're going to come back and break everything down and tell you how everything shakes out. Anytime you ever have any questions, whatever, just always chime in, blow us up, get us out there. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you, and best of luck in the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Have a great holidays.
Prop Stars out, y'all. Peace. Even though we're out, go Cowboys.